Hello legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing podcast. And this episode has a lovely number 444. Yes, so we are exactly 444 days, continuous days without break into this project. And for those of you that listen to me first time, short reminder, I started this project in a form of a blog and a podcast to make myself accountable and to ensure that I can have a single core habit, like the unbreakable foundation in my life that is always done every single day, regardless of what happens, where I am, and how busy the day is. Obviously we do a lot of different things that we might do every day, but I wanted something that I do very consciously and that creates some form of content that maybe can be used in future for different reasons, like to build maybe something out of it or use it as a, this is a journal, so I do it every day, so later on I might turn that journal into some kind of, compilation of those posts to get the most interesting post out of them, or create even a short ebook or actual book, write the book based on all those kind of struggles that I write about, because I'm not hiding anything in this blog. I am as transparent as it probably is possible to be in this era and age. So everything you read or listen to is just me. It's authentic. I'm not editing anything out of it. If I do mistakes or kind of bloopers, most of them stay in the recording unless they are at the very beginning of me starting recording. Then I will just cut them and they still are not thrown away. I'm collecting them because I promised some time ago, when we reached the day 400, to compile them and do some sort of funny compilation so you can see how many times I did some silly or stupid introduction or mistakes or whatever. So this is coming. I still have, I think, a couple of them that I need to, I want a little bit more of them for that compilation to be funnier, and maybe select those that are the most interesting or the funnier or the funniest of all, because some of them might not be as entertaining. So that's short summary of that project. And those video episodes, if you are watching on YouTube or for example on Spotify, then you might realize that they are not exactly in the number of the days that I'm stating. So while it's day 444 of the whole project, the blog and the podcast, there is only probably 220 something video episodes, because they came later on as the project was progressing. So the podcast was initially just an audio version of blog posts, then audio freestyle podcast, and then it turned into video and audio. Hence the discrepancy in the numbers. I'm now going to pick Julian from school. The weather in Donegal and in Ireland in general got a bit softer. It is warming up a little bit. Not warming up enough for us to feel warm, but enough to get rid of the frost and slippery conditions, icy conditions that were yesterday and the day before. Tomorrow is something that I call stormy day, because I will be waking up very early, leaving Donegal in about, I think, around 5 a.m, 5:30 a.m, and heading straight to Dublin to get to the office, have some couple of meetings that I scheduled, then we have a soccer game, and later on we also have Christmas kind of dinner and a couple of drinks, which I will probably skip and jump back to the car and drive back to Donegal to Elizabeth and Julian afterwards. This is kind of pattern that I always do, so I kind of expect it to happen the same this time. I was thinking about going to Dublin overnight and booking a hotel and take Julian and Elizabeth with me, but we don't have anything specific to do in Dublin, or to, you know, get done that would be necessary, so there's no point in waking them up that early and dragging them all the way to Dublin just for the sake of going there. That would enable me to stay for drinks and probably go to the hotel, because there would be no necessity to drive the car. But yeah, I'm not a big kind of super alcohol fan, to be honest. I don't drink pretty much at all. Sometimes when there's an occasion and I might get a nice wine, but very rare. Sometimes my wife might buy some wine, but even if there is wine at home, I don't drink it. I rather use the wine for cooking and enhancing the dishes rather than drinking it. I like sweet dessert wines, and we don't buy them pretty much ever, maybe a couple of times a year, if at all. So not much opportunities to drink. Sometimes we might drink some cider kind of beer, you know, the one of those sweet apple based ciders or things like that. Not the ones that have flavorings in them or artificial stuff, just the pure ciders. But again, it only happens very rarely, and we use it for dinner. And if there's no alcohol at home, which is most of the time, we don't care. So drinks are not a big miss for me. I'll stop this segment now. I think there will be probably one more, so I'll be back shortly. Hi guys, we are just back from butcher's, and sorry for the dark thing. Yep. So yeah, I'll repeat that again because I think it might have been a bit windy outside. So we are back from the butcher. We decided to buy some fresh pre-made meal instead of standing in the kitchen today and tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be away, and obviously my wife won't have the car available, and the shops are a bit distant, and we didn't want to do like the big shopping or grocery shopping, so we decided to just buy lasagna. And we used to have a great experience with pre-made lasagna by the butchers in Kilcock, where we lived for about 10 years. This is the first time we are getting lasagna from this butcher, but he confirmed that they do it on site. They do their portions and pack them fresh, so I expect it to be good. Albeit one thing that might be a little bit off for some people in Ireland, I mean non-Irish people living in Ireland, is that there's not much seasoning on, like, in Irish culture. So that's why also when I speak to Irish people or spoke to Irish people about other kind of cuisines or takeaways that are open, like Indian food or Thai food, they appreciate that coming to Ireland, because they admit themselves that they weren't using pretty much any spices traditionally, except probably for salt and pepper. So obviously it's generalization. There are definitely places in Ireland where either at homes or in some restaurants or guest houses, there might be good cooks that are making delicious food, but in general it was never a thing. Like, while in Poland, in contrast, we put a lot of spices in our food, and it doesn't have to be spicy, so it's not hot, but it's very flavorsome, or it's kind of, you get delivered a lot of scent and smell and flavor in our dishes, because this is how the culture goes. So it's nothing bad to not use spices, to be honest, and I don't want to be misunderstood here. It's just different. If you come from the culture where spices are prevalent, or there's a lot of them used in the dishes, then Ireland might feel a bit bland. On the other hand, we got used to putting a lot of different enhancers, not only spices but enhancers, to our dishes, and started buying those pre-made stuff from the markets, where obviously you don't have fresh herbs or even dried herbs in there like a proper ones. They are just kind of some powdery stuff that is pre-mixed and highly processed, so there are always extra enhancers added, and we are overstimulated in terms of the taste, flavor and smell, and then anything that is naturally cooked and prepared, it feels bland. That's why so many people have hard time to switch to healthy foods, because healthy foods means that you need to account for a proper natural taste of certain vegetables, fruit, meat, etc. And you need to get used to spicing them up with different herbs and making it right, because if you don't put enough, it will obviously be bland. If you put a lot of them, then it obviously will be either overpowering or too hot. So there's a degree of effort that you need to do, not only to switching and getting used to healthy foods, but also to spicing them if you prepare them. So I understand why so many people go the easy way and they stay on their Western diets that are unhealthy. And my point is, every food can be eaten even without spices and can be delicious. But because we expect a lot of salt, spices in our foods, it is almost impossible to switch to that type of eating. So I'm not asking anyone to switch to that, but just saying that if you switch to anything that is more natural and gradually go down, you can eliminate things like sugars, especially highly processed sugars, because there's no problem in eating naturally derived sugars from fruit, veg, and, like, let's say honey that is not processed or not done in a industrial scale, but rather from some honeybees where a small hive is maintained by somebody and the honey is delivered this way. And especially in natural environment where bees have a lot of different plants and flowers to pollinate, and this increases the flavor and healthiness of such honey as a sweetener, I would say. So there are ways to swap our bad, I would say, or maybe not bad, but unhealthy diets gradually without sacrificing anything. It's just an adjustment. So yeah, that's 7 minutes over. I guess I won't be doing any other segments because it's already late. Well, it's pretty early in terms of making or recording this because it's 5 o'clock, so I'm just about to finish work. But I will probably stay a little bit online and finish up a couple of touches because tomorrow the day in the office is really packed and scheduled very tight. So I want to make sure that I'm ready, and tomorrow will be very hard to write the blog post, so I might pre-write some of the stuff to make sure that I'm ready, or at least prepare some skeleton for tomorrow's post. But still I have to record it, so I might do it along the way in the car, I don't know. But for now, that's it. I'm going to write the blog post, publish this and the blog post, and I hope you will enjoy it, and I wish you the best rest of the day wherever you are during the day. Is it morning, afternoon, or evening? And again, I always appreciate your time spending on listening to me, watching my updates, or reading my blog, because less and less time we seem to have during the day because of those distractions, duties, and different tasks that we need to do. And this time becomes, it's always precious, but it feels like it becomes even more precious than ever before. And you spending about 20 to 30 minutes listening to my ramblings or updates about some of the do-less days I had in my life recently, but also listening to my dual days when I was down, and being here is something that I really, really appreciate. A very, very pleasant experience, and to have people tuning in, listening, watching, and reading. So again, thank you very, very much, and stay tuned. We'll see each other tomorrow.